I had a little interesting idea that I thought we could do, trying to get back into the swing of things. 'Cause I realized, this week in Weeb, it doesn't necessarily have to mean, Weeb.
Only items.
Yeah, Weeb only items, Weeb content, things like that, because we are the Weebs.
That's true.
So it's this week in us. That is really what this means. This is us.
This week in us of things that we're going to take of note because I'm very boring. My week has not been more than work, sleep, work, sleep.
This time, this episode, I think I want to try and convince you to watch some of the stuff that I'm watching this season.
Okay.
Yes. Because are you watching any anime this season? Since we have not been making regular content on it.
I haven't. I told you, I started the first episode of the Suicide Squad Isekai, and then I just kind of dropped off. I did go back and finish a bunch of animes that I had always been meaning to finish, which are, and off the top of my head, I don't even remember, but I think the last one I left off on was Cells at Work Season 3, and then I also was going to do, finally, the Quintessential Quintuplets movie.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it yet.
That's the only bit of Quintessential Quintuplets that I've watched.
It's so good. The show is so good, though. I did also start, but I didn't finish Heaven's... shoot. It's basically some gods in heaven who create animals and just like the funny little things they do to create
Oh,
those
yeah. I remember
animals.
you were telling me about that one.
That's adorable.
I want to go back and watch. I never finished watching, what was it called? God's Games We Play. I got up to the episode where they did the competition between the two teams.
Yeah.
And the two human teams, and then I never watched it after.
Did you
that.
watch the that was the Yu-Gi-Oh episode, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay. We watched the episode right after that one. We haven't gone past that. And then...
I never finished Remonster.
We finished Remonster. That was
yeah. I got pretty far into that one. We
didn't finish Grandma and Grandpa.
I watched 2 episodes of that.
Oh, we actually got pretty far. Like it got very, very repetitive. It's supposed to be a little slice of life one, but it just got a little too repetitive. Like we get it. They're old. It's not fun when they're old. They're young. They're hot when they're young. And then we go back to it.
I did go back and watch the next episode of Vampire Dormitories.
We finished up at Dormitories. That was a ride and a half. You need to finish that because I'm telling you, there's like some major things that now that you remind me, I did want to discuss with you, but I can't until you finish it.
I did go back based on your recommendation and watch the next episode of it. So I'm like little by little working my way through, and I'm trying to even think of what we reviewed last season beyond that. But I really didn't continue very much. I don't think I finished anything from last season.
I watched. I mean, the Crunchyroll has like the history, right? I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I won't do it right now, but I'm sure if I check.
Oh, Black Butler. I finished Black Butler from last season.
Amazing. I finished
that was.
Oh, and we finished Kaiju number 8.
Yes, Kaiju number 8, which I think was probably Black Butler was probably the best thing that aired, but Kaiju number 8 was the best new thing that aired.
Yes.
And this season, it took us a little while to start watching things, and because nothing really immediately grabbed me. But this season, we're watching a handful of things, and the best stuff this season is romance stuff. It just is. We haven't consumed a ton of the stuff outside of that. We did watch, so non-romance stuff that we watched. So far, we've watched Bye Bye Earth, which we did not like.
Okay.
And we've already dropped. And we've already, it should be going up this weekend as of time of recording, the Should You Watch on it. And we watched Quality Assurance in Another World, which we watched 3 episodes of. Yeah, he's like a beta tester in a MMO, but like he's trapped in it. Like it seems, I've heard that it gets good. Okay. It's okay as of the first 3 episodes. I'll probably watch more of it. Lane's abandoned it, but I don't like. So far, it's not amazing, and then we're going to watch Wands of Wisteria Wands, something like that, soon. W&W. We're going to watch soon next week and probably make some content on it. Okay. And there's a couple of other fantasy ones that we want to watch, fantasy/isekai. But the ones that we're actually enjoying that we're keeping up with is Alia sometimes confesses her feelings in Russian.
Yeah, you're telling me about that. It's real quick. I know some of the animes that you're watching, not because you mentioned them to me a lot, but because you mentioned to me once, and then I see merch for it come out. Like I've already seen the pop-up parade figures and everything else.
Your
Like,
phone's listening.
No. Because I visit certain toy sites a lot, and they'll say newly listed, and I'm like, I know that one for something, and it's like, oh, that's the one that Jeremy's watching. Yeah,
The main girl Alia has a pretty nice design. Like I would get a figure for her.
I can share the figure, but continue. Go ahead.
The next one is I just lost my train of thought. Love is Indivisible by Twins.
That sounds like a porn.
And Days with My Stepsister.
That sounds like a porn.
Yeah. Those are the 3 ones that we're watching regularly. There's also the one that Elaine really likes, which I can't remember. I don't like it as much because I'm not really super into a lot of zany anime. And I can't remember what the heck it's called. Oh, My Dear Friend Nokutan. And that is a like gag anime with a girl with deer antlers. She's like a deer girl.
How do you feel about Nendoroids?
I mean, they're okay.
Okay, I'm gonna send you one right now.
I don't have a positive nor negative opinion on it. Okay. But Elaine really likes that one. I don't like it as much because it's just like kind of a gag thing. But the romance ones are the ones that I'm really trying to convince you to watch. And the reason behind it is I think they're... Oh, this one's cute. I don't know if I can show this. It's cute.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I'm on these sites every day, so they say newly listed. I just like, oh, I know that thing.
I like that. That wasn't really that expensive. How much was it?
53, which is a little bit more pricey than some Nendoroids. It's not as bad as some of them have been, so it's not too bad.
They're really tiny though. That's my biggest thing. They're always kind of expensive and they're tiny.
I think for her, they also had a perching figure when she's sitting down. And usually you probably use it as like a noodle stopper. And then
that's one of the poses that she's like known for, is that like she's sitting cross-legged.
Well,
it's like a down.
See,
shot.
I'm learning things too. Yeah. And then they have the pop-up parades, which they haven't released art of them just yet. But you were saying that you want to get me into romance anime.
Yes. So I'm going to start off by talking about Alia. I think it has become the weakest of the 3.
Okay.
But still pretty good. So I like the fact that the main character, the main 2 main characters, the romance members they have an interesting dynamic because she's very open with her feelings, but in another language. But he can understand her, so he's getting everything she's saying, and she's very, very forward with the things that she says as long as she's saying them in Russian, and he understands everything but refuses to admit that he understands it.
Oh, let's see. So she doesn't get embarrassed.
Yeah. There's a little bit of frustration because I feel like he could act a little differently based on the information that he has, but
that might give it away that he understands, though.
Yeah. It also has a brother-sister subplot, which you think would be problematic, but it's really not. Like I think I like the character.
Wait, are you going on record that saying brother sister subplots are not problematic?
In this show, I don't have a problem with it. Honestly, I genuinely. I mean, nothing happens, but like you
sound like I talked to Chris Hansen. Nothing happened.
Take a seat right there. But I like the sister character. And the little rivalry that she has with the main girl, it was the focal point of a couple of episodes, and I think it was cute.
Is there a dub?
What?
Is there a dub?
We're watching the sub.
Okay.
I don't know if it's dubbed from the beginning yet, but as of when we started watching it, there was no dub.
As of time of viewing.
As of time of starting, there was no dub. We did start when there was like 3 episodes out already, and there still wasn't a dub. But there might be as of now.
Well, some things take like 4,500 years to get dubbed.
Yeah, some things never get dubbed.
Yeah, it's just because I've noticed that I definitely, again, I'm not like a dub versus sub. At least I'll take whatever's better or what I can get my hands on. But I have learned, again, at my very frail old age, I prefer to just kind of listen to it and be in the moment. However, if the voices don't work, then I'll go back to sub. Like, Suicide Squad. I'm probably going to watch the whole thing subbed.
It actually looks like it's dubbed all the way. Oh, there's a new episode. It actually looks like it's dubbed all the way up to episode 6.
Okay.
So you could easily 3 episode test it with a dub. if you wanted to. And I feel like sometimes Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, sometimes confesses her feelings in Russian, shares her feelings with I don't know what the actual name of it is.
The logo says sometimes. I'm going to go with sometimes.
Sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Yeah, but sometimes it's hides, sometimes it's confesses.
The only thing I
sometimes
know
it's
in
shares.
Russian, and I know I'm going to butcher, so any one of our Russian viewers are going to correct me, it's something along the lines of "Ya тебя люблю," which is "I love you" in Russian. Close
I don't
enough.
know that. I know "Das Vidanya." Das Vidanya.
I know like, random words in other languages. Nothing to ever actually be helpful in any regard.
I also like the character design of the main girl. There's a shopping montage episode that they do where you get to see her in a bunch of different outfits, and it works really well. She also speaks Russian, this one. You guys can't see the cursor, but I'm showing some things.
It's great for a visual medium.
This character was introduced in the last couple episodes.
So
this is the sister.
The sister looks like Chizuru.
Yes,
The girl
she
he
does.
said was introduced the last one. She has like dark, longer hair and a big bangs. She looks a bit like if you've seen K-On!, the last member to join K-On!.
Mm-hmm.
And the other girl's just like generic brown haired girl from anime.
You came up in conversation when we were watching the last episode that we watched because this girl here, after hearing her talk, I was like, this is where the Miguel believes that this character is an android theory comes from, because she literally talks like a robot. She's like, as humans do. No, but no, she doesn't actually say that. But the way she talks, she sounds like a robot.
The ideas and the theories I have seem ridiculous, but they're never so far fetched. Because if you think about like,
Listen, Black Butler, man. Those Black Butler theories that never aired because it kept getting flagged. But
come on, man. Episode 1, first thing I said, I know where this is going.
Yeah, that was really good. That's my recommendation. Nice, an interesting harem, interesting dynamics. Not really a harem, but interesting dynamics, and fun characters. My biggest problem is it's not focusing on the romance enough. It was for a while, and then it started moving away from it because now they're running for class president, and is like that's becoming more of the plot. And I think it's gotten weaker the further away from the focus on the relationship that it gets. And I'm realizing that as much as I, watch an isekai or a fantasy or a shonen anime, is like I don't want romance in that. I just want the focus to be on the fighting and the cool magic and stuff.
Over here, you come for it.
Yeah, when I'm watching a romance thing, I just want it to be about the romance thing. I don't want the rest of the plot. I just want it to be about the romance thing.
Yeah.
And so moving on to my next recommendation.
Speaking of romance, though, we did also finish Sasaki and Miyano.
Oh, what did you think after finishing
was adorable.
It was
very adorable. Not as problematic as other BLs we've seen, but it was very, very adorable, and I liked it. And we also watched the bonus movie, which seemed a bit random, but it wasn't horrible. But yeah, that was very fun to watch.
We really enjoyed that. We watched that while we were on vacation in Canada. That was our watch while we were up there, and we really enjoyed it. What did you think of the difference? Did you watch the dub for the show?
Yes.
And then you had to watch the sub for the movie, right?
Correct.
What did you think of the difference between Kellen Goff being the voice of Sasaki and then having to transfer over to the sub for the movie? I think it really detracted from it because I really liked Kellen Goff as the voice actor for Sasaki. He had a lot of personality.
Him as a voice actor. I think we mentioned this last time. I liked him as a voice actor. I thought he was a great voice actor. I didn't like the direction and personal choice that he made to make it such a huge jump between reactions sometimes. It's like, hey, calm it down. And I didn't like, there's this kind of like little cutesy voice he does sometimes, certain things, which just irks me.
I loved that. I thought that was good.
And the reason why is, speaking of just like random YouTube videos, there's a random YouTube video I saw once about this guy who is a professional exterminator, I guess, but he takes specifically wasp nests. And what he does then later on, he also has like a little bit of land, so he has like chickens and squirrels apparently, and he feeds them the little grubs. But he goes, "Here, chickie, you want a little grub? You wonder little, and it sounds just like him, and it freaks me out. And I don't like that voice in the video, and I don't like it in the anime. It definitely it's something about it just hits my ear wrong. I'm just like, I don't.
I mean, it's a matter of taste. But I liked the fact that he gave him a lot of personality, and that he didn't sound just like every other anime character.
And that I do, because even though the jumps in his reactions were so huge that I wish it would have toned down a little bit, it did add to him having a personality, which is just not being the blank slate of like, oh my god, I'm not sure if I don't like guys, what's going on. No, he gave him much more of a persona that stood out amongst the sea of BL guys out there.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of like swing that he had in the personality was kind of just displaying how much of a mask he was putting on, like that playful, jokey part of him, especially when he was acting within around Miyano and like in the friend group, was a mask, because like whenever you saw him by himself, where he was getting his inner monologue.
He got the sexy voice, got very quiet. He's like,
he was very like introspective and all this.
Your little voice, and then he gets really close. He goes, "You don't know what you do to me." And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like
he was performing, and like I feel like the fact that he was putting on that performance, and the character was also putting on a performance, I felt like made it fine that it was like a little over the top, because it was the character trying too hard.
I mean, I was like I said, while it did bug me, it wasn't enough for me to stop watching, and I still enjoyed it all the way through. So definitely would be a good recommend for me as a little quick review.
So moving on to another anime that I'm trying to recommend to you is probably the one that is the best right now, I think, is Love is Indivisible by Twins, and I'm showing him the image for it.
Again,
there's a new episode.
It's highly inappropriate.
It's not highly inappropriate. So this is about our main character, Protag Kun, grew up with next door to these two twin sisters, Naori and Rumi.
Okay.
And this one's Rumi, this one's Naori.
So the darker hair one is...
Yeah.
Okay.
Short hair is Rumi, long hair is Naori. And I don't remember his name. June. His name is June. And he, was always friends with them, and they're very different. One of them is the, sporty one, and the other one is the
quiet, reserved, academic one.
No, actually, she's really smart, but she is like an otaku, and she's into like all of the nerdy shit. And her personality, it's like perfect. Like if you could have like a dream personality, it's like she's so smart. She's into all the nerdy stuff. She's attractive. She's like literally like perfect waifu material. And they have, as they grew up, obviously they developed feelings for him. And of course
they both do.
Yeah. Okay. Of course he's oblivious to everything. And the short Rumi ends up pulling the trigger first and asks him out and wants to date him. Okay. And they start dating and this whole thing. And this is all like first episode. Oh shit. And they're dating, and after dating for a year, they break up.
Wow.
Because she feels bad that she knows that her sister loves him.
Yeah, but for a year, I would imagine if she felt really bad, it would have gone on for a year.
I feel like it was more realistic, because like her sister was always supportive of her. So she would always come up and talk to her, and but she knew she was hiding it.
But I feel like if it was that much after like a month or two, like, this is kind of hard, like, come on.
But she also loves him. So it's like she wants to, it's like not her, as much as bad as she feels about it, she's like, she loves him too. And she wants to, try. They're working out the fact that he's, he's been in a relationship with one of them. Then, stuff happens with the other one. And there's this dynamic between the sisters on like, are we going to act with each other? Are we going to act like sisters? Are we going to act like rivals? Are we going to act like just women?
But now is the guy, you said he's oblivious, but then when he starts...
He was. I mean, but now he knows what's going on.
Okay, so he knows that both of them like him.
Yeah, there's like,
Does he have a personality to show which one he likes more? Or is he like, I like you both?
So it's complicated. I don't want to tell you too much.
Okay. Because I feel like if it's gonna be that I like you both, then I'm gonna be not happy. Only because that just makes him into a prop.
He's not the character you're watching the show for. He's serving his purpose the way that he's supposed to serve his purpose, and I feel like the way that he feels is realistic. I like that. Naori's best friend, June's best friend, not so much Rumi's best friend. Rumi's best friend doesn't get as much screen time as the other ones, but June's best friend and Naori's best friend are awesome. Their dialogue is just amazing, especially June's best friend. He is like the most vulgar I think I've seen a character be, honestly. Just how upfront he is with his dialogue in a show like this. He's like very teenage boy. This is what we would talk about. No, but it's really good and it's really refreshing and it's funny because he basically chides the protagonist for being a protagonist. Yeah. Where he's like, listen, can you just like act like a normal person? Can you just like boobs? Like, can you just be normal? Stop being like what you're doing. And I like that refreshing. There's a lot of refreshing dialogue in this that makes the dynamic very interesting.
Okay. I'll and again, we talked about this before we started recording. Like, I'm not a hard sell on a lot of things. I trust your instinct. I trust your point of view. So I feel like if you say, hey, this is going to be good, you might like this, then all right, sure, I'll give it a shot. I mean, there are some people who would definitely recommend things to me, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna see that. I'll be fair, I'm not gonna see that at all. But yeah, all right, I'll see. I'll at least watch a few episodes of each one and then report back, let you know what I think.
I will say both of those two that we just talked about probably just had their weakest episode in the last week. Definitely I didn't watch the new one, but the last episode we watched of Indivisible by Twins and Alia definitely was their weakest episode. But I'm hoping they can catch back onto it.
I feel like I should make you watch stuff you haven't seen.
Yeah, I will watch. I will watch the things.
Have you seen Cowboy Bebop?
Huh?
Have you seen Cowboy Bebop?
Have I seen Cowboy Bebop? Yeah, I've seen Cowboy Bebop. Just like, a handful of times. We got to meet the cast, everybody except for Steve Blum at
Kineticon.
But last one, I want to convince you to watch.
Oh, there's 3. Oh, okay.
Yes.
I think you're overestimating how much time I have.
Oh no, Step Bro, the anime. At least that's what I thought it was going to be going into it.
But now you're going to tell me that's not inappropriate?
I thought it was going to be a meme, and it's not really. Days with My Stepsister is a show about a father-son who end up in a dynamic where he's getting remarried or he gets remarried, and she comes with a daughter, and it's the navigating the dynamic of what a step sibling is at the age that they're in, because they're in high school. Okay. And it's like the first episode hits it home several times where it's like a step sibling is a stranger. Yeah. A stranger that you are now living with, that you are expected to have familial ties with, familial feelings with, but they are a stranger. Yeah. And they're somebody that you have to get to know, especially in this scenario where
first friend.
Yeah. In this scenario where it was so quick, where it was just like, I met this woman, we're getting married, and then it was like just they're moving in. It was like they hadn't really like.
That's like your Yuri one.
Oh yeah, Citrus.
Yeah,
yeah, except not as problematic as that one. And
I didn't finish Citrus.
It's very good. It's fun. I like it.
It was a lot one episode.
But in this, it's very introspective. Pretty sure her name is Ayane.
I think it's called Oh No Step Bro.
No, Oh No Step Bro is what we were memeing on.
I thought that was the name of the anime.
No.
Oh my god. So wait, hold on. And again, I know you guys can see this, but right now he's just showing me the page. From the quick view, it looked like she was grabbing his groin because you couldn't really see where her arm ended and his arm began. I was like, you're kidding me.
Yeah. No. This is a new episode. So in this, it has an interesting structure because she writes in her diary, and they have these like home movie segments, like they're recaps of the previous week where she's writing in her diary, but it's structured where it shows it like a home movie, and it's like grainy and like the letterbox kind of thing, and she's going through the dates and narrating when she's writing in her diary, and it's kind of like recapping things that had happened and her thoughts at the time, and it's an interesting framing device to kind of go through. Because things will happen and you'll be like, well, I wonder what was the meaning behind that? Like, why did that happen the way? And then if you wait a couple of episodes, typically you'll get the recap and she'll go through her thought process and, what exactly happened. They'll fill in some details and, what she was thinking at the time. And I think the two main characters in this show might have the most natural conversations between two anime characters I've ever heard, where they actually sound like people. They even during conversations will pause and it'll just sit there and you'll just stew in it for 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And you're like, oh, did it freeze or whatever? It's like, no, but that's how people talk.
Yeah, there's a little awkward silence.
Yeah, you're having an emotional discussion, and
Things
somebody
get tense,
somebody says a thing, and the person doesn't respond right away, and you just have to sit there in it. And I really like it, like the way that they're building the dynamic between the two main characters is so organic. Because it's, finding the things that they're into, the things that they have differing opinions on, and they discuss them, the nature of their goals and what they're trying to do as people, and like the things that they're trying to develop outside of the family, outside of each other, and they feel like fleshed out people that have goals and desires and feelings, and they're trying to navigate those things. And I feel like I went into this expecting the meme. I went in there expecting Oh No Step Bro, the anime, and I was going to make fun of it and whatnot. And then we watched the first episode, and I think 3 of them were already
It hits
out.
a little bit more like an emotional thing.
Yeah.
I thought, okay.
And I was literally like, okay, put on the next episode. We have to watch the next episode. It's really good at setting that tone. The last episode was strong. The previous episode was probably their weakest episode, but it jumped back and got back into a decent place.
So I have to watch Russian Girls, Twin Girls, and Step Girls.
Yep. Those are the ones that I'm recommending for you.
All right.
And
I'll try.